All right, what's up, daughters of the nine moons? Welcome to another Wheel of Time review starring myself, Steven, Kaden, our first time reader, and Jake, our Wheel of Time expert. Right, Jake, expert?
No, but I'll take it.
Okay, good. Glad to hear you agree. Yes, I am. I've read the series twice. Jake has read it, what, more than that? And Caden's our first time through. So there's not going to be any spoilers for anything past Crossroads of Twilight, book 10, which we are reviewing now. So if you're not past that, don't worry. We're not going to do any spoilers, or Caden will hunt us down along with yourself, listener. So Crossroads of Twilight. So I guess we just have to start with this. We'll try not to make this review too much about like, is it the slog? Is it not the slog? So we better just get it out of the way right now. Is book 10 the slog?
Yeah, yes, it definitely
Yeah, for
is.
sure.
Yep. I tried reading it, both like listening to it, and then I switched to like a physical copy, then went back to listening to it at like 2.5 speed, and then back to like it was just hard to get through overall.
And didn't you actually have to go to a different book at the same time in order to maintain interest?
I may or may not have read. I think last podcast I was up to like book 7 of the Dresden Files, and I read the other 10. Well,
That's right. Yeah, yeah. The rest of the Dresden Files.
I read
The
So,
them
other
all.
10.
And a couple other books as well. So there's probably a big gap.
Wow.
It's probably been a couple months, but I apologize. But it was a little rough.
well, we can assure you that the series, the next four books, 11, 12, 13, 14, all very good. All very good entries in the Wheel of Time. So keep on going.
Yeah.
If you've made it this far, you literally cannot stop, or you're just doing yourself a disservice because you've made it through 10 books. I mean, 10 good books. Crossroads of Twilight, debatable. But at this point, you're in for a treat here with the ending of the series.
Yeah, that's true. I've liked all the other 9. So and from everyone says the rest are good. So I'm looking forward to it.
So before we start our review, if you like what you're hearing here on Phantology, we do have, like Kaden said, reviews of the previous 9 Wheel of Time books. We will be doing the rest of the series as Kaden finishes. And we've also reviewed the Dresden Files in detail, as well as things like Joe Abercrombie, Harry Potter, what else? Stormlight, a lot of Stormlight stuff, not enough Mistborn stuff. Really like all of the main fantasy stuff is out there on Phantology's website now, which you can find at www.phantologybooks.com, and you can support the show on patreon.com/phantology_books. And just listen and follow along. Give our YouTube a sub, maybe, if you want to be a friend of the show. Good. Okay, well, let's get started. Let's get started then. And actually, since we're talking about Wheel of Time, so Kaden, did you know that tomorrow there's a teaser trailer? This is, as we record, it is September 1st. So September 2nd, there will be our first teaser trailer look at the Wheel of Time TV show.
I am actually a lot more excited about this than I was like a year ago I think there was a podcast at one point where we talked about it and I was kind of like iffy, but it was right during like the 6th episode or the 6th book where that was a little hard for me. I'm a lot more pumped about the show now.
Okay.
Also
Okay.
having seen a couple of the other teaser things they've put out on Twitter. So
Yeah, I was just going through all the teaser things with my wife. She just finished the first book, and so she's pretty hyped for the show right now.
Okay. Way to go, Emily.
Yeah, trying to convince her to do a video with us of a much needed female's perspective of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, we need that for sure. One of the calling cards, or is like one of the main talking points for the show that I've seen on a lot of little articles that are now circulating since the Entertainment Weekly article, is that it's a show with the matriarchal society, and the female users of the magic are kind of the ones in charge. So yeah, we definitely need a female perspective on this series.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that's true. And I'm not sure how much of that really comes through in book 1, which she's only read the first one. But it looks like the show is going to be really focusing on that from the very beginning. So it's going to be cool.
And it doesn't help that their biggest name actor happens to be the lead Aes Sedai, right? You You got to play it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's the Sean Bean, Ned Stark angle for your fantasy TV show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll see the trailer tomorrow. I don't know if you want to talk to us about it. You can hop on Discord. I don't think we're planning on doing anything special for the trailer itself, but we will do episodes on the episodes of the TV show in November when that comes out. But let's talk about Crossroads of Twilight now. So you didn't like it, Kaden.
There were parts I liked, parts I didn't. Actually, the closer that I got to the end of the book, the more like nothing really happened in the book. There were some plot points that were interesting. I honestly think, I know we've beaten the Elayne politics horse many a time, but that part was just really long in this book, like way longer than any other book. There's a really strong, or maybe not strong, but there is a cliffhanger at the end of the book.
Oh yeah, it is a good cliffhanger.
There is that kind, and I actually, again, I always liked Matt. I thought there wasn't very much Matt in the book, but the parts that were there I thought were interesting. Not the usual level of excitement, but something.
Yeah, this one has like 3 or 4 chapters in chunks of different characters. Matt was like right at the beginning, and then a long break, and then right at the end of the book. And the middle is mostly like Perrin, Elayne, Egwene. There's a couple Rand chapters, but Rand is very much an observer, or very much not present. I can't even say the word, but he's not around as much. So Elayne was the downer part, and Matt was the highlight, it sounds like.
I don't know. The highlight was part of probably Egwene's chapters for me, okay. I think, even more than
she's the one with the big cliffhanger too. So,
and I honestly liked all the politics around, like they realize, sorry, we're jumping around, but that Shadow Logath has been destroyed, and they think it's the Asha'man have some crazy weapon, right? And there's all this, they gather the hall and everyone's freaking out. I actually kind of really enjoyed that part of the politics, and so I thought that was way more interesting than the Camelin politics that were going on, and then what that leads to at the end.
I think part of it for me is there's so much more at stake with the Tar-Valon politics, and so much more at stake with other politics in general in this series. And then Elayne trying to win Camelin, to me, felt more like, okay, cool. Like, we just need stability. It doesn't really matter if you rule Camelin or if someone else rules Camelin. Like, we're trying to get ready for the last battle. Like, I know this is like really important to her, but part of me was like if you can't convince them, then that's not the end of the world. The end of the world is about to come, and you need to get ready for that. That being said, I do think Elayne's parts do kind of set up some mystery. I think a lot of the reason why this book can be hard to get through, because there's a lot of setup with not much payoff. But
yeah, it's a lot of setup for, the exciting action of the last 4 books. And Robert Jordan was thinking, after writing Knife of Dreams, like his plan was to finish A Memory of Light in 1 book. So he's writing this thinking there's only 2 left. We know that Sanderson ultimately took that into 3 books. So yeah, this does kind of feel like a setup for a big ending action.
Yeah, and even Perrin, like I feel like Perrin's storyline with Fail getting captured has gone on for several books. And there's at least like finally a little bit of pickup again, like we're saying.
Is there?
Well, I don't know. You have some city where there's dead people appearing, so I don't know, something different at least.
I think Perrin was my least favorite of this book. Like, if you look at where he's at the beginning of the book and you look at where he's at the end of the book, the guy has made no progress. And
he hasn't made progress. He hasn't made progress in rescuing Fael, but there's a ton of character growth for him. He's finally given up the axe, and he gets real dark, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit at the end, but like, okay, so I was looking at Dragonmount in preparation for the episode, looking through chapter summaries. One of the chapters that he's in, the summary is literally Perrin prepares to ride to Sow Harbor for supplies. Like, that was the chapter, preparing to ride somewhere. That's not very exciting.
Yeah, things like things like this make you really excited for a TV show that can like condense all of this into.
Oh, I better
And-
not see any
and-
preparation to ride somewhere in a TV show.
Well, but you know what I mean? Like this whole, I don't know, like this lasting 3 books, even though it isn't like the entirety of 3 books, it like in a TV show, they can make it a lot more compelling and easier to get through.
Yeah, it could be Perrin's storyline for one season.
Or an episode.
While Perrin was very boring, I feel like Egwene actually went backwards a little bit in her character growth. Because I feel like so jumping to the ending, she gets captured. She goes over to Tar Valon. But she turned one of what is it that she does? She turns the
she goes to turn the so they're trying to besiege Tar Valon, and they have to stop them from being resupplied via ship. So she turns one of the big chains entering for the gate into Quindalar. Quindalar, is that correct?
Quindiar.
Quindiar.
Okay.
But whatever.
Yeah. I felt like so in at least the first 3 books or 4 books, Rand, I don't know, at some point we talk a lot about how like prideful Rand is. And it was really bothering me at an early point in the series, and Egwene's always getting mad at him for it. And I feel like in this book, she showed a lot of pride. Like she's kind of turning into what he was at the beginning. I feel like a little bit where she feels like she's in total control as Amyrlin, almost to the point where it's like it's blinded her. And I think that's why she gets captured. So kind of like her character, I think, showed a lot of weakness through what was going on. She has a lot of wins, I think, throughout what's going on, but I think she also I think that right there shows a lot of weakness as well.
Dang, I want you to finish the series. This is an interesting take.
I'm not saying she's like her whole character is completely gone. It's not great, but I think just like it's not a highlight book for her overall.
Okay.
I think she's definitely stronger in other books we've read. So, but yeah, maybe
So at the end of her part, she gets captured, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does it say? I can't remember. Does it say? Like, do you know who's captured her?
No, I don't think it comes out and says. I thought it was the Aes Sedai in Tar Valon that captured her. I don't know who exactly. At least that I can remember. Maybe I missed it. And you just know someone betrayed her because I knew she was coming.
Oh, right. Okay.
But yeah, there's some betrayal, but outside of that, what's going to happen to her next is not clear at all.
Yeah.
I will say I really enjoy what happens to her next. Like I enjoy her storyline from here a lot.
That's good to know. I'm excited.
Yeah. I think part of why she like is solidified as so many people's favorite characters has to do with, I think, her time, like, and probably the last few books on through the next book, without going into spoilers.
I agree.
I think
for sure.
I think it really solidifies her being a favorite.
One thing on Egwene before we jump to a different character. So there's a few times that Aes Sedai in her camp have been murdered by Saidin, right, Kaden?
Yeah.
Do you know what is going on here, or do you suspect it all?
I can throw out something. I'm probably completely wrong.
Okay.
So and again, I know it's been a while since we read other books. So
I'm so excited for it.
I like when we can try to quiz you and act like we're so smart. And
I know.
let's hear what Kaden has to say.
So I feel like there's one of the Forsaken who was like a guy impersonating a girl, I thought, or something like that. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Is that
there's a Forsaken who is indeed killed and comes back in the opposite gender body, right? It's either Belthamel or Agenor. Do you remember which one, Jake?
Agenor died, I thought, in the last book.
I think it's Belthamel. I think Belthamel got reincarnated as Arengar, and Agenor got reincarnated as Osangar.
Yes.
Then Agenor gets killed at Shadar Logoth by one of the other Forsaken on accident, I think.
Or Osangar, right?
Yeah, it was something. Yeah.
Arengar is still around.
Yeah, and I think Arengar is the one killing the Aes Sedai. And is it? I don't know. I don't like Halima. Is that one of her like advisor or maids or something like that? Someone
Halima
close to
is
Egwene.
is a character.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's one of the maids, huh?
So I don't know if that's who it is, but she's shady. Don't like her. Potentially could be her. I don't remember who. I probably, if I read closer, I probably would know who Arengar is in the Aes Sedai camp. But I feel like that's who's killing the Aes Sedai.
Okay.
I'm
I like
trying to
the theory.
remember the first time I read it, if I was able to like even have a theory. I don't even know if I had a theory at the time. I can't remember. It's been a while.
There's a few little kind of mysteries, especially around Forsaken over the course of the books. Have you wait, why can I not remember his name? Have you, have you figured out who killed Asmodean yet?
I have no idea. No idea who killed Asmodean. I'm like at the point where I want to Google it. Like I'll wait.
It'll be revealed to you. I think it's revealed to you.
It is.
I couldn't remember if it's revealed in the text in a way that was very flippantly, or if it was revealed in a like at Jordan Con very flippantly one time. I can't remember.
Well, it's in the text. I think it's also like in the glossary randomly. I might be wrong.
Maybe that's how it was. Maybe it's in the glossary of one of the books.
One of the later books. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay. Oh, cool. I'm just an idiot for not understanding this was happening.
Yeah, you'll see. Okay, so that was Egwene. Should we okay, so let's go off of her. Anything more on Perrin? We already kind of made fun of his lack of progress, I guess. Let's talk more about the progress that he does make, Jake, that you referenced about kind of going darker.
Yeah, so Kaden, so throughout the series so far, he's had a couple different internal battles which kind of represent the same struggles. Like, is he a man? Is he a wolf? And then also I don't want to have to use the axe. I want to use the hammer because the hammer can be used to create things and the axe is only for killing, etc. Like, I feel like those two internal battles are representative of his, like, a similar struggle. But what do you think, like, his progress in this book, him chopping off the prisoner's hand and throwing away the axe, like, did that stick out to you as important? If so, like, why do you think this is important or not important for him? And how should it affect his character moving forward?
Yeah. Interesting question. To me, it kind of felt like the climax or a lot of his like internal, right? Like, I felt like like you said, he went really dark, right? Completely just like him wanting Fael back that made him do something I don't think I ever would have thought he would do previously. And I feel like that thought is why he threw away his axe, right? So what will that do for his character going forward? I don't know, because I feel like he's still leading this army. He still has to get Fael back. I feel like he can't get out of this without fighting anyway. So if anything, I just feel like the conflict's greater overall. Like, I feel like nothing has resolved at all, and just put it at like he has to make a choice and decide which way he's going to go.
That's honestly how I felt like when I read it. I was like, okay, I can tell this is supposed to be a very symbolic and important gesture, but I didn't really feel like it meant anything because he wasn't turning to a life of passivism. He was going to use his hammer to kill people just as dead as an axe would kill them, you know?
Yeah.
And so I remember kind of being frustrated with that. I did really like the whole seeing him like kind of devolve into this darker version, understandably so. Like, I thought it really fit with just what was happening around him. And it was very realistic, but I just didn't really feel like the throwing away the axe was as impactful as the action made it seem like it was.
Yeah, I agree.
And then he just kind of gets bailed out because Talonbar comes back. It's like, oh, the Shan-Chan are here. And now we're thinking that this is somehow going to maybe get us out of the bad situation because now there's another player on the field. I guess we'll see what happens, but it seems like a situation where I guess I don't know, it just kind of works out like the plot. There's some plot armor here that just kind of makes it work out for him.
Yeah, it seems like, okay, we can't have the Shanshin come a little too early because he still needs to go through this character growth. But as soon as he hits that box, then okay, now we can bring in the cavalry. But also, again, sorry, back to the axe versus the hammer thing. It's not, I think it would have been more compelling if, I guess they do kind of hit on this. Like in the first book, he goes in like a rage when he kills the White Cloaks, when right after meeting with Elias. But I think they could have played that up more. Like he goes into this like bloodthirsty barbarian type rage, and like
Bloody
having
Nine,
that be
Bloody Nine rage.
Yeah, like Bloody Nine style. Yeah. And having that be more of a conflict of like he hates it that he like acts this way, and then like and having the axe represent that. Whereas other than like a few times, he's been very justified anytime he's committed violence, and he seems to be pretty measured while committing the violence. So I guess to me, that's why it wasn't as impactful.
You're having a hard time believing the axe is really all that bad.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, an axe in your hand is a great thing. Like, I guess I just don't see the difference between him with the axe in his hand and him with the hammer in his hand.
Well, I feel like this was the first time in this book that he like actually lost control. Like, I feel like he hasn't really.
Yeah.
Like to what you're saying, right? This was the first time. Like,
Yeah.
It was like, why did you cut this guy's hand off? Like, what was really the point here? Like, you knew that wasn't going to do anything, but you still did it.
Yeah.
Okay, Elayne. On to Elayne. So she has twins. She has twins now. The Sea Folk Windfinder is able to tell her that, and she makes a little deal with the Sea Folk to help out her besieged city. I guess this book could have been called the Two Towers a little bit here, with Caemlyn and Tarvalon both under siege. Maybe there's a little bit, I don't know. Is there a little bit of a crossover there? Maybe. And so so the Sea Folk are going to help you out. We were doing some politics, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. What's the redeeming stuff about Elayne here? Anything?
I think the Hanlon stuff is really cool. What did you think, Kaden?
And maybe I missed what the Hanlon stuff was, but just the fact, like, he's the one that everyone thinks is the father of the twins, right?
Yeah.
That
she's protecting him. Yeah.
But we know he's up to no good, and
we know he's consorting with dark friends.
Yeah. Yeah, was there more I was supposed to get out of that
I don't think not yet.
Just the intrigue, how she's unaware of it, obviously. And you don't think she fully trusts him, but she's letting these rumors spread. So I feel like to some extent she must be kind of trusting of him to let him be known as the father. I don't know.
I think that's true. I also think it's kind of selfish because she doesn't want people to know it's Rand as well. And so I think she's like, oh, people already think it's him. I'll let it go to protect the kids more than anything. So not as a bad thing. Like, I want to protect my kids too, but I think that's a larger driving factor in it. But yeah, she definitely wouldn't want to think that at all if she had any inclination that he was a dark friend, right?
Yeah.
Let me read you another chapter summary from Dragonmount. Elayne convinces Avienda to wear silk for their meeting with the newly arrived high seats. Dylan and Brigitta snipe at each other. Like, ooh, this is some interesting stuff here. We're wearing silk and sniping.
Yeah, that was a chapter I definitely. Jake yawning right now is exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
That was where I hit up to like 2.5 speed in the audiobook.
It's a little rough. All right, Matt is our last main point of view. There is some Rand, but not a lot of Rand. And Matt, maybe we're going to end on a high note here because Kaden, you said you really liked Matt's parts.
Yeah, I mean,
to some degree.
I liked. Yeah,
Okay.
Really liked. I don't know. I definitely liked any of Matt's parts in previous books more. I just like seeing more of his relationship with Tuon. Right at the end, the last book, it was the first time we get anything into her character, right? And the prophecy with her is what, from book 3 or 2? So
book 3,
you know,
4 book, I think.
Yeah, book four.
It's when he goes through the doorway, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in
In
Rhodey.
tier.
They all
In
kind of
tier
blend
for-
together
In tier
for me now.
first. Okay.
Yeah.
The tier doorway gives answers. The Viridian doorway gives gifts.
Yes, you're right.
Yep.
You're right. Okay.
So I mean, prop side for forever, right? Finally shows up, but it's like right near the end of the book. You don't get anything. And so I just liked watching more of that play out and find out like, oh, hey, I proposed to this girl, and kind of like how the prophecy just kind of self-fulfilling in a way, because he's the one who says it thinking about the prophecy, and then it's suddenly like it happens, right? Which is ironic.
It's a very Matt way to fulfill a prophecy.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun to see their relationship develop a little bit. Like, this is for each of them. The other one is someone who they haven't really dealt with before in their life. And so you can kind of see like both of them off guard a little bit as they develop this relationship, but it ends up working by the end, at least a little bit.
I like that it's not just Matt getting run over by her. Like at the beginning, at least in the first few chapters with Matt in this book, she's like totally kicking his butt and just like won't have anything to do with him. So then he starts giving the gifts to, how do you say her name? Felucia or
Felucia. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, and then he sees later that the gifts have gone to Tuon. Anyway, so he starts like getting kind of the upper hand a little bit, like back and forth. And I like watching that. It's not just like one-sided on either side. But they're, like you're saying, they kind of are battling a little bit, but becoming more and more of a thing.
Yeah, it's nice to see Matt kind of kind of uncomfortable, not in his confident self around this person. He seems a little more like peevish, I guess. I don't know. Like it's just a different way to view Matt, which is fun. And then I think also the insight to Shanshan culture is really cool, because you haven't really gotten that. Like Egwene has been the closest, but you haven't really like gotten much of that. And hearing it directly from Tuon with all the confidence she has, I think is really cool.
And then at the end, Matt as well goes a little, I mean, not as dark as Perrin, but he also has an unfortunate choice where he has to kill one of the Soldam, right? And it's not like Matt hasn't killed people before fighting, so I don't see this as big of a deal, whereas Perrin is cutting off someone's hand basically in somewhat of a torture situation.
Matt's always hated killing women, though. That's always been.
Yeah. I mean, there's a list of people who hate killing women in Wheel of Time.
But he's been the most reticent, I think. But
you think more than Rand? Rand like recites like the names of people who died. Well, like crazy.
Rand recites the names of people who died, not just the people he's killed.
That's true. That's true.
It's more of like a guilt thing. Like, these people have died because of me. Whereas Rand is more, he had a hard time, obviously, like with land fear. But he also, I don't know, he's killed women more. He's felt bad about it. But I think Matt, it's been more of like this code that he hasn't crossed. I can't think of another time he's crossed that other than now.
Let us know in Discord if there's another time. I don't know.
Because if I remember right, there's a part in book 3 where book 3 Rand is kind of off the pages for a long time. And every time he's on page, he's like crazy.
Oh, that's where he's like stacking up the bodies.
Yeah. And there's a woman there. And then I think in that same book, Tom and Matt are traveling in a group of dark friends.
Oh, there's
them,
a dark,
and a woman was there.
Friends. Yeah. Yeah.
And Tom kills her. And Matt's like, why'd you have to do that? And he's like, she would have killed you just the same as these people. And so to me, there's been this like difference there.
The one thing I really like about Matt's character are the dice in his head. Just like the foreshadowing that just like that provides like the whole time. And then like when they stop, you're like, crap, what did this really mean? Right? He killed her. Okay, what did that mean? What were the two paths that we just chose between? And what are the consequences going to be? I just really like that setup type thing that always happens with Matt as things are coming. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And at the very end, Tuon reveals her identity to Val and Luca and says their circus is protected. They get a little writ or something. I don't know what's going to happen there. Writ of patronage, maybe from the daughter of the Nine Moons. Anyway, Tuon's out. Her identity is out there. So now this storyline is going to progress quickly, right? Because the secret is out of the bag. And once one person knows that the princess of the Shan-Chan is just running around the hills of Randland, like people are gonna find out.
It feels like in the Wheel of Time, we have like the theme of miscommunication, but we also have like all the information you don't want to get out gets out to who it should, So yeah, you got both sides of that same thing going on.
Yeah.
Okay, we haven't talked about Rand very much, other than Kaden saying that he was going crazy. So he's just kind of hanging out in Tyr, brooding with Cadswain. And then Logain and co show up and he gets mad at Logain. And that's like pretty much what happens with him until the very end of the epilogue, when he gets news that they're ready to make a deal with the Daughter of the Nine Moons. So good news, right? Like Rand and Tuon are going to make a deal. Great.
Like so much happened off screen there, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be great. There's no problems here.
Yeah, still a big giant army and they're invading, but no big deal.
I mean, well, I mean, Kaden, what I'm saying is is Tuon really in a position to make a deal with Rand right now?
No, she's not. So, but I don't think the Chan would, even if they were, like, where anyone can make a deal with him, right? Yeah. Like, I don't think that's there.
So we know that whatever this deal is, like, it's starting off with a lot of deception because the Daughter of the Nine Moons is not ready to make a deal with Rand.
Yeah. I'm pulling for Logain more.
Okay.
Just in general. I was a little mad that Rand got mad at him as much as he did.
Yeah. It's like, dude, when's the last time you even checked in at the Black Tower? Why are you
Yeah.
Has he been back since his terrible speech?
No, it was so bad he never went back.
They booed him off the stage.
Yeah, he's like, I can't go back there. Too much shame.
So one of the things Logain does, he shows up and he tells Rand not to trust Taim. I guess this is another situation where we ask you, Kaden, what you think about Taim. Well, maybe unfair because it's been a while since we've seen him.
Well, I think the last book revealed like how he was trying to kill Rand. So we know Taim is bad. I still like his character, and I wish that he was more of like maybe that's kind of what he is. He wants power. Well, here's what I think about Taim. I don't think he's a dark friend like working for the Dark Lord or whatever, trying to kill Rand. I think he's just like making a power play. And
power play.
Okay.
Yeah. So that I think his motives are purely selfish, wants power to be in control of everything.
So he's kind of he's an Elida type character.
Yeah. Yep. That's how I see him. Yeah. Now I could be totally wrong, but that's how I see him. And so I kind of like him for that. I like his character that way, but
a nice added dose of like chaos to everything.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know if it's apparent to Rand yet, though, that he was the one who tried to kill him.
I feel like Rand, it's definitely crossed his mind, right? He's like, wait, can I trust anyone? But everyone maybe wanting to kill him has crossed his mind.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What makes do you think you can trust Logain when Logain says, hey, don't trust Taim?
What are
Logain's motivations?
That's the only thing that makes me want to trust Logain is Min's viewings of Logain from earlier on.
True.
With true. That she sees him. I don't know. I think they talk about like glory.
Gaining glory. Yeah. But maybe the glory is him
conquest type.
Yeah.
Takeover. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Logain's motives himself are selfish, right? Like, why would he not be acting in his own best interest? The question is, I'm not sure what he's going for. I don't know Logain's doing.
I'm excited for you to read the next 4 books.
I'm excited for you to watch the show because Logain is supposed to have like a bigger part
Yeah.
earlier on in the show. Like we were looking at the cast today, and they've cast someone for the King of Galdon, and like, there's no way you would cast someone for that except like, isn't that where Logain starts in the beginning of book one? Like that's where he
that's
comes
where it gets
out as
captured, right?
yeah. So
Right. And,
I'm
and we've
excited
seen
to
the
see more of
image.
that.
We've seen the image of Logain being, I guess, taken, right? Taken to
Yeah, like in
Camelin
a yeah,
in some kind of cool looking cage.
yeah.
Nice.
So I wonder if that image is actually in Gildon instead of Camelin, and then he passes through Camelin later. You know, I'm hoping the show in season one will show him like either declaring himself or like the action of him getting captured.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything more about Crossroads of Twilight? Top three, bottom three time?
This is going to be a sad top three, bottom three moment, I think, of all the ones we've done.
Because of your incoming picks, Kaden?
I just don't feel like there's a lot to choose from. Like it's
Okay, I have a few. I have a few to choose from, so I will get us started. So we're doing top three and bottom three characters in this book, solely this book, based off their performance. So my top character is going to be Tuon, just because I like her a lot, and it's fun. Like you said, Kaden, we got to see the Shan Chan a little bit more, a little more personal, and I really enjoy her and Matt's relationship. Maybe I'll throw Tuon and Matt together in kind of slot number one, just their whole storyline here in Crossroads of Twilight. Book or not book. Spot number two is going to be Egwene. Yeah, I mean, she, like you said, she's kind of up and down. I think a lot of the characters kind of a down book for most characters. So the fact that Egwene, did make some good moves, like starting negotiations and making some progress against Tarvalon. Like, she did all right, and she's still the Amerlin over there for now. We'll see what happens in the next book, but she's did enough to deserve a top two spot. And number three is going to be Valen Luca, who has secured a writ of patronage from the princess of the Shanshan. Like, this is pretty good for him and his circus.
I think I can see that argument. I mean, what did he do to secure that? Nothing.
Well, come on. He saw the opportunity. He took a risk.
I think I can do a top and a bottom. And I don't even know who to put for the bottom, because I was going to put Perrin on the bottom just because.
Wait, well, you got to do top. You got to do top first, though.
Top is Egwene for me, for sure. Even though she gets kidnapped, like, I don't know. I think her movement is still strong enough to continue based on that. I don't know. Maybe not, though. Maybe she shouldn't be a top. I've got her at the top and Perrin at the bottom.
So you have two characters in your top and bottom three.
No,
there are four empty slots.
Yeah, 4 empty slots. Yeah, I have a top and a bottom. That's it.
Okay. That's a big oof for Crossroads of Twilight. Kaden, can you do any better, or is that where we're gonna land on this book?
Steven, it's not fair that you got to go first. You got to choose all the characters that did anything in the book.
Correct. Correct.
I have more to my bottom three than my top three. I could probably say some you've already said. I'm trying to think.
Put Logain in there. You liked Logain.
I do like him, but I don't know if he did anything.
Yeah, what did he do in the book?
Yeah.
I honestly want to throw Cadsuane in my top three, just because even though all she's done is she did gain a little bit more of Rand's trust. Like, I think Rand, in the end, he's like, oh, I know I need her, which has been a battle for the last several books. And so if anything, she's
not many are trusted.
Yeah. So I would say she actually has come out on top. And I guess that really happened last book, but you don't see it till this book, kind of. So I'd put her in my top three. Let's see. I just got to let's see. I'll come back to my top three if I think of anyone. Bottom three, I'm gonna go
Yeah,
with
let's hear bottom.
Rena.
Okay.
Rena, the Swooldom who tried to escape because it
Okay.
was a sad escape. Didn't quite almost there, but just couldn't make it.
There's a
Um,
there's a Game of Thrones analogy if you've seen the show, but I'm not going to spoil it. But another sad situation where that happens. Am I right, Jake?
Yeah, way sad.
um, in number two spot, I'm gonna put see, I'm gonna put Egwene. I was really bummed about the getting captured part, and unless that's part of her like bigger plan, um, I was just really disappointed by that. I feel like she was just so like strong to that point, and it was just disappointing. Yeah,
That's true.
This is the only
That's
character
true.
Jake has put into his top three.
I know.
I'm regretting it because that's true. Like she had such cool things. I just thought
Like
like the plan to turn the chains into Quaindiar, like so cool. Although
and
it
I
did kind of hurt me knowing like how are you going to reverse this when like your plan is to take over,
sure.
then what are you gonna do? It's one of those like short-sighted, but you have to
Can't
do it.
can't you
I,
just discover another weave?
It's just a weave. Yeah.
I really like how she handled like I feel like she did like really good handling the hall again through the whole Ashraman. We
Yeah.
should I love that. She did good there. But I think what really did it for me was like her internal speech right before she goes like across. She's like, I am the Amerlin and I must do what other people can't kind of it was just like this like thing. It was like I just it felt kind of
The pride before the
not
fall.
yeah. Yeah. You're like
Yeah.
you like know going in this is not gonna go well. And it was just
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the Emerald. She's got to be delegating all of these things. This is not what the leader does. The leader delegates.
yep.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So, and I like her. I'm not trying to, yeah. And then third, I'm going with the merchants in was it Soul Harbor, with the Weevils and their grain. They just like were really pathetic, and
In the ghost town.
yeah, they could have tried harder, I think, even, and they just
Tried harder not to have weevils in their grain.
no, yeah, yeah, or just like their situation, like I don't know, like get out of there, do something. Or they're sitting around waiting to die. And it's a little
Kaden
sad.
is dissing on the small folk of Ranland.
I am a little bit. That's the how sad this book is that I don't have a lot to choose from here. So that's what I'm going with.
I'll throw a Fail slash Morgase in the bottom three. They they didn't do much to help their cause. They got like one chapter is all, but it wasn't a great performance. They were trying to sneak around, and it didn't go well. It didn't go very well. Fail actually made some progress in the previous book, but not here. So good luck to them. I also will throw in Egenian. I never know how to say her name. Is that close?
Aginin?
Yeah,
That's
Egenian, whatever. Anyway,
Guyana. I
can
don't
we
know.
just call her Leyland Shipless now? Because
Yeah.
that was not a. She got into a power struggle with Matt for a bit, and then she got her title stripped from her by Tuon. So she just went downhill like the entire book. So definitely a bottom three character.
which is sad
And
because
then
I like her. I like her character, so I was a little bummed by that as well.
so this is a character that I've never really connected with in reading the book. She just seems like such a blank slate to me. Like I don't know anything about her other than just like the basics of her station. I cannot remember anything about her personality. Like she's such a
She,
boring character. But
I feel like she's the only Sanchan character I've ever felt bad for, like with the position that she's in, and like feeling like she because of the secret she knows she's like betraying her country or whatever.
Yeah, I really like her. I
yeah,
think
okay.
she's in an interesting position that's hard, like recognizing that your whole like power structure of your country is like built on lies, but like I don't know, I think that's really cool. She has like the conflicting like loyalties, you know.
I think there are
Apparently,
more boring minor characters, but
for
Yeah.
some reason, she never stuck with me. But maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I just couldn't get over the fact that I could never pronounce her name, so I never knew what to call her. And so I probably never even said her name out loud until this moment.
You got to think more like Bail Domon.
I
And
was
then
gonna
you'll
say like Bail
recognize
Doman.
her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta like him.
Number 3 bottom character is another duo. It's gonna be the duo of Avienda / Brigitta, because hey, they were around in the Elayne chapters and they did nothing to make it more interesting. Avienda was wearing silk and Brigitta was sniping at nobles, and this is not a good performance. Let's do something here to make it more exciting, and they did nothing for me. And I'm putting them in the bottom 3 because these are characters I like. I don't like Elayne very much, but I like these characters, and they could have redeemed Elayne's chapters, but they did not. They did nothing.
Okay, I got someone for my top 3. The sea
Dylan?
folk.
Okay. Oh, the sea folk, sure.
The sea folk. They negotiated their plot of land, and I feel like it was well done. So that's how you know that book 10 is a hard read, when negotiating a plot of land is in my top 3.
Yeah. Negotiating land and poor management of grain are in Kaden's top and bottom 3. Okay, well, that's our review of Crossroads of Twilight, a book that we didn't love, but it's part of the Wheel of Time, which is a series we do love. So on we go, and Knife of Dreams is up next. And Jake, this is one of your favorites.
Yeah, Knife of Dream is great. One thing that really bugs me, again, is when people say Robert Jordan just like wrote the story into like going nowhere, and thank goodness for Brandon Sanderson for bringing it back into form. Thank goodness for Brandon Sanderson for being able to finish it, because Robert Jordan passed. But Robert Jordan redeems himself 100% with Knife of Dreams, in my opinion. And on subsequent rereads, like understanding book 10 is going to be a slog, but I think it could have been condensed and it could have been more exciting. But I think all the things that happen there do help make the rest of the series more exciting. And you get some really good payoffs starting in book 11.
Even purchasing grain from So Harbor.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
You're going to be like, wow.
Whoa, that place was amazing.
Good thing Perrin went to So Harbor to get some supplies.
Yep, yeah. It's all important. Not a single page is wasted here. Okay, so if you like what we're doing at Photology, if you like our sarcasm, or I don't know, if you hate us, whatever, you can support the show by talking to us on Discord. Invites are on the episode description, and please sub our YouTube. That's our push. By the end of the year, we're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. We're obviously still a small channel, but we'd like to, get up to that big 1,000 mark. And who knows, maybe YouTube will mail us a plaque at 1,000. I don't think so, but we can dream.
I'll mail you a plaque, Steven.
All right, guys. Kaden, good luck on the Knife of Dreams. Are you going to be reading another series before Knife of Dreams? Is there another Dresden Files that you're going to read entirely before the next Wheel of Time book?
There is not. I'm actually ready to start Knife of Dreams, and as long as it holds up to Jake's review of it, then I should be good.
It's great. I think you should set the goal before November to finish the rest of the Wheel of Time, to have read them all before the series comes out, and I think it's really doable.
Right.
Actually, Kaden, have you read New Spring yet?
I've not.
Okay. So you've got 4 plus 1. And
is there anything in there I need to read?
I think that there's going to be stuff from New Spring in the show. It seems like it's really focused on Moraine. New Spring, the prequel, is mostly Moraine.
Okay.
So yeah. I think it will. Like, honestly, I don't know, Jake, do you think he should pause and read New Spring right now?
I wouldn't, just because you've put so much effort into getting through these plot lines, and they start to wrap up in the next books. So
I need to get the momentum going here. I'm ready for the
And New Spring is fun, but it's not awesome.
It's good, but it was written to be, I think he wanted to do a trilogy as a prequel.
Yeah.
and only wrote the first one. So it's good, but it's not like super groundbreaking.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll go through the next 4 and then circle back around. Maybe get there before it starts.
Yeah.
Good luck. That's a lot
That's
to
like-
go to finish.
It was
I mean,
only
you
like 3,500 pages.
You have
Yeah.
probably between 2 to 3 months. You can do it. Maybe. Yeah. The TBRs that we always underestimate. All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys. See Wheel of Time fans next time.
See you later. Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Phantology. If you'd like to let us know your opinions on all things sci-fi and fantasy, join our Discord. Invites are in the episode descriptions below. If you'd like to support the show, like these fine folks here, you can do that at patreon.com/phantology_books. Patrons get early access to new episodes, exclusive postings, and exclusive Discord benefits. But of course, just listening and watching and sharing with your friends and family is support enough. Journey before destination all.